Ladies and gentlemen, let's uncover a truth that's been hidden in plain sight for too long. Pleasing women isn't about money, status, or perfection. It's about moves that speak louder than words, moves that touch her heart and soul. Confidence is the very first move, the foundation, because everything else you do depends on it. Think about it. How can you make a woman feel safe, respected, or even attracted to you if you don't even believe in yourself? Confidence is not just about the way you walk or talk. It's about the energy you carry, the certainty you bring, and the way you silently communicate. I know who I am and I'm comfortable with it, but let's clear the confusion right away. Confidence is not arrogance. Arrogance pushes people away while true confidence pulls them in. Arrogance screams insecurity in disguise. It says, I need to prove myself, I need to dominate, I need to show off. Real confidence, on the other hand, is calm. It doesn't need to announce itself. It doesn't need to fight for attention. It doesn't need to shout. Because it's already powerful in silence. Imagine this, you walk into a room, you don't rush, you don't hide, and you don't force anything. You just own your space. That energy says everything without you opening your mouth. Women notice it instantly. They feel it. Why? Because confidence signals leadership, stability, and security, qualities women are deeply wired to respond to. Now let's break it down. How do you actually build this kind of confidence? It doesn't just appear overnight. It comes from three sources: self-awareness, self-respect, and self-mastery. 1. Self-awareness. You must know yourself inside and out. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your values, your boundaries, your passions? A man who has no idea who he is will always chase validation from others. But a man who knows himself doesn't need to seek approval. He's not afraid to say yes, and he's not afraid to say no. That's attractive beyond measure because women can trust a man who trusts himself. 2. Self-respect. Do you treat yourself the way you expect others to treat you? If you don't, then don't expect anyone else to. Women pay close attention to how you carry yourself. Do you respect your time, your health, your goals? Do you set boundaries with people who waste your energy? Self-respect is magnetic because it shows you value your life. And here's the secret: when you respect yourself, she feels respected by you automatically, because you won't allow disrespect to exist in your world. 3. Self-mastery. Confidence grows when you do the hard things you once thought you couldn't do. Every time you face a challenge, every time you push past fear, every time you build a skill, your brain says, I did it! I'm capable! I can handle more! That's where unshakable confidence comes from. Evidence. Not fake words, not pretending, but real proof inside yourself that you can rise to the occasion. Women feel this energy. It's the difference between saying, I think I can handle life, and knowing deep in your bones, whatever life throws at me, I've got this. Now here's what most men get wrong. They think confidence is about being loud, dominating the room, or showing off material possessions. But that's not true confidence. Real confidence is subtle. It's in the way you make eye contact without flinching. It's in the way you speak without rushing. It's in the way you can sit in silence without fidgeting, because you're not desperate to fill the air. Silence is powerful when it's backed by presence. And yes, women test confidence. They test it not because they want to tear you down, but because they want to feel if it's real. If your confidence cracks under pressure, if you get defensive, angry, or insecure, then it wasn't true confidence. It was an act. But if you can stay grounded, calm, and certain, no matter what she throws your way, that's when she thinks, wow, this man is solid. He's unshakable. Here's the truth. Confidence doesn't mean you never feel fear. It doesn't mean you never doubt yourself. It means you move forward despite the fear, despite the doubt. Women respect that. Why? Because it shows courage, and courage is one of the most attractive qualities a man can ever display. Think about the last time you saw someone truly confident. Not cocky, not arrogant, but calm, focused, and present. You could feel it, right? That's the same way women feel around confident men. It makes them relax. It makes them open up. It makes them trust. Because deep down, every woman wants a man who can hold steady when life gets chaotic. But let's not forget, confidence must be consistent. You can't just switch it on when you're flirting and then collapse in insecurity when things get hard. That's not real. Confidence is a lifestyle. It's in your discipline, your habits, your mindset. It's how you treat yourself on the days no one is watching. That's why women can sense authentic confidence so easily, because it's not just what you show, it's who you are. So the first move to pleasing women is simple but powerful. Build unshakable confidence without falling into arrogance. Walk with certainty, not with ego. Speak with conviction, not with domination. Carry yourself like a man who knows his worth, because when you do, she will feel it before you say a single word. Let's face it, the world is obsessed with looks. Everywhere you turn, you see six-pack abs, flawless skin, expensive cars, and flashy lifestyles being sold as the key to attraction. But here's the truth that too many men ignore. Women don't fall in love with a perfect body or a fancy lifestyle. They fall in love with how you make them feel. Yes, physical attraction has its role, but it's not what keeps her close. It's not what makes her miss you at night, or what makes her light up when she sees your name pop up on her phone. It's the emotional connection you build, the invisible bridge between your heart and hers. That is what creates desire that lasts far beyond looks. Think about it. Why do some men who are not conventionally handsome still have women who adore them, respect them, and never want to leave their side? Because they know how to connect emotionally. They know how to speak to a woman's mind, her heart, her dreams, and her fears. That's what women crave, not perfection, but presence. So what does emotional connection actually mean? It means she feels seen, she feels heard, and she feels understood. When you sit across from her and you put down your phone, you look into her eyes, and you actually listen. Not waiting to reply, not trying to impress, but truly listening. She feels a spark stronger than any six-pack could ever give her. Why? Because in that moment, she feels valued. And when a woman feels valued, attraction grows deeper than looks ever could. But listening alone isn't enough. Emotional connection also comes from vulnerability. Too many men think they have to wear a mask of toughness 24/7. But let me ask you, how can she connect with you if all you ever show is a wall? Women are drawn to men who are strong, yes, but also real, sharing your struggles, your lessons, your passions. That's what lets her in. That's what makes her think, this man is human, and with him I can be myself too. Do you see the power here? Physical perfection might grab attention for a moment, but emotional connection creates intimacy that lasts a lifetime. Looks fade, bodies change, money comes and goes, but the way you make her feel safe, valued, and understood will never lose its power. Here's the secret. Emotional connection is built in the little things. When she shares a dream and you encourage her instead of dismissing it. When she tells you about her bad day and you don't try to fix everything but instead say, I hear you. That sounds tough. I'm here for you. When you remember small details, her favorite coffee, the story about her childhood, the song that makes her smile, and you bring it up later, showing her that you not only listened but cared enough to remember. These small moments build emotional glue, and that glue is stronger than any surface attraction. Let me give you a hard truth. Many men rely on physical attraction to carry them. They think if they look good enough, dress sharp enough, or act confident enough, women will stay. But that's why so many relationships fade after the initial spark. Looks can draw someone in, but they can't hold someone there. Emotional connection is what makes her stay, even when life gets difficult, even when challenges arise, even when time changes everything on the outside. And here's the beautiful part. When you build emotional connection, physical attraction naturally grows. A woman who feels safe with you, who feels understood by you, who feels seen by you, she starts seeing you as more attractive no matter what you look like. Why? Because her heart is engaged, and when her heart is engaged, her body follows. Think about the relationships that inspire you. Are they built on shallow attraction, or are they built on deep understanding and respect? You already know the answer. The strongest bonds are the ones where both people can laugh together, cry together, dream together, and face fears together. That's emotional connection, and it's more powerful than any amount of physical perfection. Now, here's something most men never realize. Women test emotional connection the same way they test confidence. They want to know, can you handle their emotions without shutting down? Can you listen without judgment? Can you create a space where she feels safe enough to be vulnerable? If you can, you've unlocked the key to her heart. If you can't, she will never fully let down her guard with you. So, what's the move? Don't chase perfection, chase presence. Don't obsess over impressing her with what you own or how you look. Instead, impress her with how deeply you listen, how gently you respond, how sincerely you care. That's what she remembers. That's what she falls for. Because at the end of the day, the truth is simple but powerful: emotional connection beats physical perfection every single time. Respect. It's not just a word. It's a force. It's one of the most powerful signals you can ever send to a woman, and it's the one quality that separates men she forgets from men she never lets go of. Respect is magnetic because it shows who you truly are at the core. It tells her, I value myself, I value you, and I value what we share. And when a man lives with that kind of respect, he doesn't need tricks or games. He naturally draws women closer. But let's break it down. What does respect really mean? Respect is not just saying please and thank you. It's not just holding the door open or giving compliments. Those are surface-level gestures. Important, yes, but respect runs deeper. Real respect is about recognizing her as a whole human being, her mind, her choices, her boundaries, her independence, and her worth. It's about treating her not as a prize to be won, but as a partner to be cherished. And here's the shocking truth. Many men lose respect without even realizing it. They interrupt her when she speaks. They dismiss her opinions. They make jokes at her expense. They get jealous and controlling, thinking possession equals love. But every time you strip a woman of respect, you strip the relationship of its power. Because love without respect becomes toxic. Desire without respect becomes shallow. Attention without respect becomes manipulation. So why is respect so magnetic? Because it makes a woman feel safe. It makes her feel seen. It makes her feel valued beyond surface attraction. When a man respects a woman, she relaxes, she opens up, she gives more of herself emotionally, mentally, even physically. She thinks, this man doesn't just want me, he values me. I can trust him. I can follow him. I can build with him. Now let's go deeper. Respect shows up in 3 powerful forms. 1. Respect for her voice. Do you really listen when she speaks? Not just nodding, not just waiting for your turn, but actually listening to understand. Respect for her voice means you take her seriously, her ideas, her dreams, her fears. When she feels her words matter to you, she feels she matters to you. And here's the secret. When you respect her voice, she'll respect yours even more. 2. Respect for her choices. Every woman wants to know that the man beside her doesn't just tolerate her independence, but celebrates it. Respect means you don't try to control her friendships, her career, her passions. Instead, you encourage them. You cheer for her wins. You support her ambitions. You stand by her even when her choices are different from yours. That kind of respect is rare, and that's exactly why it's magnetic. Because she feels free with you, not trapped by you. 3. Respect for her boundaries. This is where many men fail. They think persistence is attractive, but ignoring boundaries is a form of disrespect. Respect means understanding that no is final. It means giving her space when she needs it. It means never crossing lines she's not comfortable with. Why? Because when you respect her boundaries, you show her she's safe. And when she feels safe, she lets you closer than anyone else ever could. Respect is magnetic because it's the foundation of trust. And trust is the glue that holds attraction together. Without trust, attraction fades. Without respect, love collapses. You might get her attention for a while with charm, looks, or even wealth, but without respect, it all falls apart. And here's the twist. Respect doesn't only elevate her, it elevates you. A man who respects women shines differently. He's admired not just by her, but by everyone around him. Other men see it. Families notice it. Society rewards it. Because respect is a reflection of character, and character is what lasts when everything else fades. But don't mistake respect for weakness. Some men fear that if they show too much respect, they'll be too nice or get walked over. That's not true. Respect doesn't mean losing your power. It means using it wisely. A respectful man still has boundaries. He still leads, decides, and stands firm. But he does it without belittling, without controlling, without crushing. And that balance makes him irresistible. Think about it. A man who respects a woman's mind, supports her goals, honors her boundaries, and values her presence is rare in a world full of ego and selfishness. Rare things are magnetic. That's why she'll look at you and think, this man is different. I don't want to lose him. And here's one more truth. Respect doesn't disappear when things get hard. Anyone can show respect in the honeymoon phase when everything is fun and easy. But real respect is tested in arguments, in disappointments, in moments of frustration. Do you still speak to her with dignity when you're angry? Do you still value her feelings when you disagree? Do you still protect her heart even when yours feels hurt? If the answer is yes, then you've mastered respect, and she will never forget it. So remember, this respect is not just an action, it's an attitude. It's not just in the words you say, but in the way you look at her, the way you listen, the way you honor her presence in your life. Respect is magnetic because it speaks louder than money, louder than charm, louder than appearance. It says, I see you, I value you, you matter to me. And when a woman feels that, she's drawn to you in a way no surface attraction could ever create. Why is this so powerful? Because women are deeply responsive to words, not empty words, not rehearsed lines, but authentic, intentional, emotionally charged communication. You can have the best looks, the sharpest style, or even the biggest bank account, but if your words are careless, cold, or disconnected, the attraction will fade. On the other hand, a man who masters the art of communication can stir feelings so deep that a woman thinks, how does he understand me this way? How does he make me feel so alive? Let's break it down. Seductive communication has 3 dimensions: presence, tone, and depth. 1. Presence in communication. Have you ever spoken to someone who wasn't really listening? They nod, they smile, but their eyes are somewhere else. That kills attraction instantly. Presence means giving her your full attention. When she speaks, you lean in. You don't cut her off. You don't look at your phone. You don't plan your reply. You listen. This is magnetic. Why? Because presence tells her you matter. What you say matters. I'm here with you. That's seductive because attention is the greatest gift you can give in today's distracted world. 2. Tone of communication. It's not only what comes out of your mouth, it's how it comes out. You can say the same sentence in 2 different tones and get completely different reactions. Tone carries emotion. A calm, steady tone makes her feel safe. A playful tone makes her feel lighthearted. A deep, slow tone in intimate moments can create electricity that sends shivers down her spine. That's why mastering tone is a key to seduction, because women feel words not just in their minds, but in their bodies. 3. Depth of communication. Too many men stay on the surface. How was your day? What's your favorite color? What do you do for fun? These questions are fine at the start, but they don't create real connection. Seductive communication dives deeper. It's about asking her what drives her, what scares her, what she dreams about. It's about sharing your own stories, your lessons, your passions. When conversations move into the realm of dreams, emotions, and vulnerabilities, that's when she feels something powerful. That's when she thinks, this man gets me. This man is different. But seductive communication is not only about deep talks. Sometimes it's about playfulness. Teasing her lightly, making her laugh, keeping the conversation alive with energy. Humor, wit, and playfulness create chemistry. Why? Because when she laughs with you, she relaxes with you, and when she relaxes, her heart opens. That's seduction in motion. Now, let's not forget body language. Communication is not only verbal, it's physical. Your eyes, your gestures, your posture, they all speak louder than words. Holding eye contact a little longer than usual, leaning in at the right moment. Smiling with sincerity, not just politeness. These nonverbal cues are messages that say, I'm here, I'm drawn to you, I see you. And guess what? Women pick up on this faster than you think. Here's another truth. Silence itself can be seductive when used with confidence. Most men panic in silence, rushing to fill every gap with meaningless words. But a confident man can pause, let the silence breathe, and simply hold her gaze. That moment of quiet creates tension, intimacy, anticipation. It tells her without words, I'm comfortable here. I'm not afraid of the moment. That silence, combined with presence, can sometimes seduce more than 1,000 words. But let me warn you, communication becomes destructive when it lacks respect or authenticity. Empty flattery, manipulation, or dishonesty might work for a moment, but they poison attraction in the long run. Women have sharp intuition. They feel when words don't match energy. Authentic communication, on the other hand, builds trust, and trust is the fuel of lasting seduction. Think about it. Why do some conversations make hours feel like minutes, while others make minutes feel like hours? It's because seductive communication pulls you into flow. Time disappears. Walls break down. Emotions run free. That's when she feels not just heard, but understood. And when a woman feels understood, she bonds deeply. So how do you practice this? You start by slowing down. Don't rush to impress. Don't rush to respond. Don't rush to prove yourself. Instead, be curious. Ask better questions. Listen with your whole body. Notice her expressions, her tone, her emotions. Match her energy when needed, and lift it higher when she's low. Be her mirror, her safe space, her spark. That's what makes communication irresistible. And here's the final truth. Seduction through communication doesn't stop once you win her over. It has to continue. A relationship without communication is like a body without oxygen. It suffocates. Keep speaking, keep listening, keep sharing, keep laughing, keep her mind alive with you, not just her body beside you. That's how attraction never fades. Because at the end of the day, what makes communication seductive is not just the words, it's the connection they create. It's not about saying something perfect. It's about saying something real. It's not about rehearsed lines. It's about honest emotions. It's not about impressing her with intelligence. It's about touching her with authenticity. And when you master this, when your presence, tone, and depth come together, your words stop being just words. They become an experience. They become electricity. They become unforgettable. That's why communication isn't just talking. Communication is seduction. So many men think they need grand gestures to win a woman's heart. Diamonds, luxury trips, expensive gifts. But here's the truth. The little things, the small acts of thoughtfulness, often have a bigger impact than the grand displays. Why? Because small gestures prove consistency, sincerity, and attention. They show her you don't just care in the big moments when it's obvious, but also in the everyday moments when no one else would notice. Think about it. When was the last time someone remembered something small about you? Your favorite drink, a story you told weeks ago, a tiny detail you thought they'd forget. Didn't it make you feel seen, valued, special? That's exactly what happens when you do the same for a woman. Those little gestures whisper louder than the biggest speeches. I notice you. I remember you. You matter to me. Here's the magic. Little gestures are powerful because they are personal. Anyone can buy flowers. Anyone can write a fancy message on Valentine's Day. But not everyone notices the way she always takes her coffee, or the way she tucks her hair behind her ear when she's nervous, or the fact that she loves a certain song when she's stressed. When you catch those details and act on them, she feels deeply understood. That's why small gestures hit harder than generic big ones. Because they're tailored to her. Let's break this down into the psychology of impact. 1. Consistency over drama. A woman doesn't need fireworks every day. She needs presence. She needs reliability. Sending a good morning text that's genuine. Checking in after her important meeting. Offering a hug when she didn't even ask. These gestures tell her you're consistent. And consistency builds trust. Big gestures might impress her for a moment, but little gestures reassure her for a lifetime too. Surprise over expectation. Grand gestures are expected on birthdays, anniversaries, or Valentine's Day. But what about the random Tuesday when she's feeling low? Or the Friday night when she's had a long week at work? Bringing her favorite snack, writing her a quick note, or giving her a compliment out of the blue. Those moments shock her heart awake because she wasn't expecting it. That surprise makes her feel cherished, and cherished women stay connected. 3. Depth over price. A gift doesn't have to be expensive to be meaningful. Picking up a book she mentioned weeks ago, sending her a song that reminded you of her, or planning a small activity you know she'll enjoy. These gestures carry more weight than the costliest necklace. Why? Because they say, I listen, I care, I remembered, and memory is priceless. Here's an example. Imagine she tells you once, just once, that as a child she loved stargazing with her grandfather. Months later, on a quiet evening, you take her to a park, lay out a blanket, and say, I thought you'd like this. That's not just a gesture. That's a memory. That's a story she'll tell again and again, because it proves you listened when others didn't. That's the impact. But let's go deeper. Little gestures are not just physical, they're emotional too. Validation, saying, I'm proud of you, when she achieves something, even if it's small. Support, holding her hand in silence when she's stressed instead of rushing to give advice. Encouragement, reminding her of her strength when she doubts herself. These emotional gestures might look small on the outside, but on the inside they're huge. Because they tell her, you're not alone, I'm with you, I believe in you. And don't underestimate physical gestures either. A gentle touch on her back as you walk through a crowd, adjusting her jacket when it's cold, brushing a strand of hair away from her face. These subtle moves scream care. They're not grand, but they're grounding. They say, I see you. I protect you. I'm attentive to you. Women notice every detail, especially the ones that show intention. Here's the truth. Little gestures have impact because they're consistent evidence of love. Anyone can act romantic once. Anyone can be charming at the start. But a man who continues to make small efforts long after the chase is over. That's the man who stands out. That's the man who proves, I don't just want to win you, I want to keep you. And here's something powerful to remember: little gestures often speak louder than words. You can tell her you care, but when you prove it through consistent actions, even small ones, it becomes undeniable. A note left on the fridge. A quick call just to hear her voice. A silly inside joke that only you two share. These things build intimacy brick by brick until the bond between you is unshakable. Too many men think they need to reinvent romance with something massive and dramatic. But the real secret is this: women fall in love with how you make them feel every single day, and it's the little things that shape those feelings. She remembers the way you looked at her with admiration when she wasn't dressed up. She remembers the way you squeezed her hand before a big moment. She remembers the way you laughed at her jokes like they mattered. Those moments are seeds, and over time, they grow into love that can't be replaced. So yes, little gestures matter. They matter because they turn ordinary days into extraordinary memories. They matter because they prove you're not just paying attention, you're invested. They matter because they keep love alive when the initial excitement fades. And that impact is bigger than any luxury gift could ever create. Trust, it's the backbone of attraction, the heartbeat of connection, the foundation of love. And do you know what creates trust faster than anything else? Consistency. Not words, not promises, not flashy acts, but the daily, steady proof that you are who you say you are. Women don't just listen to what you tell them, they watch what you do. And when your actions match your words again and again, that's when trust grows. That's when attraction deepens. That's when love lasts. Let's be real. Anyone can impress for a day. Anyone can act romantic for a week. Anyone can play the role of the perfect man in the beginning. But women are smart. They've seen the show before. What they're really looking for is consistency. Can you keep showing up long after the honeymoon glow fades? Can you keep treating her with respect even when you're frustrated? Can you stay steady, loyal, and reliable not just when it's convenient, but especially when it's hard? That's what separates a fling from a forever. Consistency builds trust because it creates predictability. And predictability is not boring. It's security. When she knows you'll be there, when she knows your word means something, when she knows you won't vanish at the first challenge, her heart relaxes. And when her heart relaxes, attraction flows naturally. Because women don't give themselves fully to men they don't trust. Think about it. If you say you'll call and you don't, if you promise to show up and you cancel, if you act loving one day and cold the next, how can she ever feel safe? Inconsistency creates doubt. Doubt creates anxiety. Anxiety kills attraction. But when you're consistent, when your actions are reliable, when you prove over time that you're stable, she feels peace. And peace is magnetic. Now let's break it down. Where does consistency matter most? 1. Consistency in actions. If you say you'll do something, follow through. If you promise her something, deliver. It doesn't have to be huge. It can be as simple as texting when you said you would, or being on time when you planned a date. These small actions build a record in her mind. I can count on him. And each time you keep your word, trust grows stronger. 2. Consistency in emotions. This one is powerful. Women need emotional stability. If you're sweet one day and distant the next, loving one moment and cold the next, she'll feel unsafe. Consistency in emotions doesn't mean you never have a bad day. It means you don't take those bad days out on her. It means she knows what version of you she's getting, the grounded, respectful, steady one. That steadiness builds trust faster than any words ever could. 3. Consistency in respect. Respect cannot be seasonal. You can't respect her when things are going your way and then disrespect her when you're angry. That's not real respect. Real consistency means you treat her with dignity whether you're in love or in conflict, whether you're laughing or arguing. That shows maturity, that shows strength, and that's exactly what keeps her trust intact. 4. Consistency in growth. A woman doesn't just want a man who stays the same. She wants a man who grows consistently. Are you working on yourself? Are you chasing your goals? Are you improving in your career, your health, your mindset? Growth shows ambition, and ambition is attractive. When she sees you're consistent not only with her, but with yourself, her respect for you skyrockets. But let's go deeper. Why does inconsistency hurt so much? Because it creates confusion. One moment she feels secure, The next moment she feels ignored. One day you act like she's everything. The next you act like she's nothing. That roller coaster of emotions wears women out. And when she gets tired of guessing where she stands, she pulls back. That's why inconsistency is poison to relationships. Consistency, on the other hand, is like sunlight. It nurtures, it reassures, it allows love to grow. Even when passion fluctuates, even when challenges arise, consistency keeps the bond alive. Because she knows, deep down, he's here. He's not going anywhere. I can trust him. And here's the secret. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. You'll make mistakes. You'll stumble, you'll forget things sometimes. But what matters is that you own up, you apologize sincerely, and you correct yourself. That's part of consistency too. Showing her that even when you fail, you return to your standard, you don't just abandon it. That humility builds even more trust than pretending to be flawless. Let's talk about attraction again. Many men think attraction is about being unpredictable, mysterious, or hard to get. And yes, a little mystery can spark curiosity, but long-term attraction is built on trust. Women don't stay with men who play games with their emotions. They stay with men who show them through consistent action that they're safe, valued, and loved. That's the real secret. Consistency is the sexiest thing a man can bring to a relationship. Imagine this: a man says, "I love you," once, but his actions don't align. Another man says, "I love you," less often, but every day he shows it, through respect, through attention, through loyalty. Which man do you think she trusts? Which man do you think she stays with? Words fade, but consistent actions leave an imprint on her heart forever. So remember, consistency is not boring, it's powerful. It's the quiet force that keeps passion alive, keeps respect intact, and keeps love unshakable. Women don't need perfection, they need proof. Proof that you'll be there, proof that your word means something, proof that your love is not a phase but a choice you make every day. And when you give her that, when your actions and words align over and over again, you won't just win her heart, you'll keep it. Because consistency builds trust, and trust is the ultimate magnet for lasting love.